Welcome to Duality Gamecast, sponsored by Gladiator Games.
Today's blind fighting episode features nothing personal.
Welcome to Duality Gamecast. I'm Matt.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Andre.
And I'm William. Today we have a very special blind fight episode where we're going to tackle a game none of us has ever played before. So let's just jump in and see what we got. Ta-da! Nothing personal! Nothing personal. From Game Salute, co-created by Tom Vassell of Dice Tower fame. What I do know is it's kind of a cutthroat bluffing game with a mob theme. So let's see what it's like. All right, let's do this. All right.
So since I always open up the games you buy, I'll let you open the box this time. You know,
Now, I will say that what I've heard about this game is that the component quality is pretty off the chain.
this box lid is bulletproof.
That's Tom Vassell, you know, making his living reviewing games, basically said, I'm not going to have cheap components.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, that's like really freaking board.
Yeah. Okay.
And he hates paper money, so you got the crazy fake cardboard money.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Wait.
Oh, those metal coins. Gotta kiss my ring.
Capo ring.
I think someone beat Zaya.
No.
No, they didn't. But,
There's like 3 coins in there. Alright. Open everything up. That's not Zaya coins. Zaya coins are amazing. They're the best coins ever made.
I will say though.
U.S. Treasury.
I will say though.
Except for your game. That's right.
Game Salute, tuck boxes.
Tuck boxes for everything.
Ooh. Will this fit everyone? Oh, sure.
Well, on the flip side though, these came preloaded for us.
Nice. Why did they build and stuff these, but then... Maybe we'll learn in here. Deep Cut Gangsters. Gangsters.
Almost there. Alright. Yeah!
Oh, and most of the, I think the art in here is all like game designers and stuff. And other reviewers.
Let's do the dramatic like board flip here in a second. Let's see. Okay.
All right. Oh, there are little. These are our family. So you got Barbarossa, very nice. I have no idea if these affect the game.
Crush beneath our feet. We don't need these right now. Because you're great. That's good. Pretty fun.
Minuetto, Casa Hanferati, Shoot First, Speak Last. Fiduciani, You Can Trust Us, We're the Good Guy. So I'm gonna do the Shoot First, Speak Last game.
Well, I have to be the Dolorosa. Violin or dove?
What? Wait.
There's a typo in the rulebook. Deal a card face up card into the 8th position.
So good component quality, horrible editing is what
So
I'm saying.
There he is. Tom Vassell is an associate. That's funny.
Does this game have like that guy from Watch It Play or something?
Rodney? Yeah, he's probably in here somewhere. Eric Summers in here.
So I like Rodney. I'd get behind Rodney.
I like Eric Summers.
I
like Z.
I don't think he's in here though.
Is it?
No.
I don't know any of these people we're talking about.
I know some of them. I don't know what the heck.
All our meeting games cards play face down. The player that looks the most like a mobster, he's in a suit, takes the capo ring and is the first player.
Can we start GTA?
He's also the one person I've seen stab somebody, so you know.
He looks like a big old monster.
Ooh, what?
My GTA 5 character.
Yeah, no. Real world.
See, a character you made on a video game is not you.
This is a tiebreaker for first player. If the players cannot agree, the first player to say an accurate quote from a gangster movie takes the capo ring instead. That'd probably be him anyway. So.
You can offer it, can't refuse.
Yeah, he beat me to it, but I just won't blame him. Ring's on.
Starting with the
funny
first
how-
player and continuing clockwise, each player places one of the influence markers on any gangster. Repeat this 2 more times so that each player has a total of 3 influence markers on the board.
All right, we're beginning the game. Capo. Let's make this happen.
Go capo.
So at any point, if somebody has more influence on the capo, then I lose the capo.
That's
Like
how
at any
that-
point.
Yes.
That's how the. I want more ring. All right, Matt, where are you going? Where you at? What's happening? What are we doing?
So draw an influence card.
Well, see, Matt's trying to read their abilities. He's already in this round.
Yeah.
I'm not you being an underboss.
Wait, so I have to put.
You're gonna put one on somebody you want to take control of.
We're gonna be placing 3 before we start.
What gives us those points?
The guys we control.
It's just
the black die.
number.
Oh.
So if you control the capo, so you like
Capo is cleaning up.
take it from him, show him. That's
So-
pretty good. It's pretty good.
So the colors are the colors of the cards.
Yeah, I think
right?
it's just to help you find them. Yeah,
Is it the colors of the cards?
because like the
So if
hidden
it has
blue.
a symbol and a color, it has to be that color with that symbol.
Yeah, well, I think it's the same thing. The one is red, because the red is position, so it doesn't have a symbol. All the other ones, like all blue things, are gonna have a gun because hitmen are blue. All bruiser guys are gonna have purple. It's gonna have the brass knuckles. All hats are gonna be orange. But the red one is showing position on the board, so it actually. So if it's a red icon, it's gonna say position.
Sorry, is it my turn again?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Trying to explain to you my politics. Sorry.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Make it happen, Dylan. Make it happen. Yeah, that's how you do it right there.
Oh, messing with the
Oh, he's making a pop! What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Somewhere in here is the whacking, right?
It's during the crew phase, I think, right?
Yeah.
So if there's a whacking you can do,
Mm-hmm.
why does this guy have pay $10 whack a gangster?
Because you probably just paid him bucks and kill a dude.
Oh, like automatically?
I'm assuming, as opposed to having to roll.
Instead of rolling? Okay. That would
Oh,
Oh yeah.
but-
When can you use their abilities?
That's all during the Resolve Gangsters. The crew
Oh,
phase.
the crew.
We got,
Okay.
Remember, we get money and stuff, and then we activate all their abilities the other way.
Oh yeah.
I don't know when you whack them though.
Yeah. Now
That's an action they can choose to do. Like you
So
know.
you can make a move or whack. That's during the crew phase.
Yeah, so like this guy right here will let you place an influence, can't be whacked wherever it is, or you can choose to whack or make a move. He gets 7 influence and he gets $7.
Woo! Yeah. Cool.
Next is the underboss, which looks like Andre controls, so he gets 4 influence and $5. Double check me because I know I'm talking loud. I really still don't know what the hell's going on. Dylan controls this one, so he gets 4 influence and $6.
Wow.
Dylan's very proud of himself.
Cannoli.
Give him the $6. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what are we playing to?
we're playing 5 rounds,
Oh, okay.
and then whoever has the highest score. All right, and then we move on to Enforcer,
Damn it.
which I control. So I get 2 influence and $2. Ooh.
It's hard down here in the low ranks.
Racketeer. That's me. That's 5 influence.
Wait a minute. Do you want him to be able to do? No. And she's just their abilities. They,
Carry on. $4. $4.
I control,
One influence.
yeah. Woo! And $4.
Oh, that's a good one. First guy, Andre gets one influence. And that guy,
$5. Here's $5.
Oh, man, that's a little weird.
oh, it's hard being third guy. Tell you what. 3 influence for the roses.
Yes. And $3 too.
Want to make a change?
2 influence for me.
Fat stacks. Andre. Fat stacks.
And one whole dollar.
Then nobody has put anything down on the associates at this time.
I can.
Steal $3.
I want to steal $3 from.
No.
Do I just jack Matt because it would be hilarious?
Yes.
Really, the guy that's losing?
Please do that.
You just Matt, we're gangsters. You just stole $2 from me. I'm a little upset about it.
That's our profession.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. Well, as a professional courtesy, don't hide your money. There's no hiding of money in this game.
What money?
The $14 you have under the
pile
table.
of money.
Yeah, why does it go by like tens? It should go by like hundreds. Because I mean, it doesn't really make.
Maybe this is tens of millions. We thought about that.
Oh.
It's like making
Give me 3 of your dollars, Dylan. You're causing too much problems. I'm upset.
Harsh.
I expect half of the bottom of this deck to just be gambler. I want to see like 30 green cards.
This is not good.
What's sound of that?
Oh, we did kind of really hose Dylan because that means nothing now. Sorry,
You
man.
still got a pile of cards. You do fine.
2 on the Racketeer
Fiend.
and 2 on this guy. Back in it for my 1 influence I get from that guy. You got Dylan?
2 con man.
Oh, because no, remember, because at the end of the round, there's 1 more score of victory points.
Yeah.
So that guy can matter.
Yeah.
If you can get him on the board.
If you get them.
Oh, at the last round, there still is one
Yeah,
less
there's
score.
that, and then you replenish the system, count all your victory points again.
Wow.
So
Okay.
there's still going to be 1
That's
more.
kind of a big deal.
Yeah, the last round actually matters a ton.
This is the last round.
Yeah, but after this,
Oh.
and people get arrested and stuff, and it repopulates, then we check score 1 more time. All right. Now we do 1 more thing of victory points, right? We're at the end.
Yes. We have to sell off. So I don't want to do that in order.
Game in. After 5 rounds, players calculate and accept respect for each gangster that they control 1 final time. Money is not awarded, so we'll start with that. Andre gets 6 more bucks.
40?
7 more bucks.
Oh my god.
Perhaps.
6 more bucks.
Oh my god.
Matt, you get 1 victory point. No, not bucks. Andre gets 5 more.
Oh my god.
You just casually toss the ring aside. Yeah, it's you now. Dylan gets 3 more.
Ugh.
And then 3 more again. God, I'm so far behind. Alright.
You didn't get any?
No, I don't have anything on the board. Players must sell their influence cards for money, 8 per card.
16 for me.
24.
Yeah, 16.
Give me 24, please.
Oh, geez, those 20.
48 for me.
That's 4. 48? Holy
Give me a buck. You give me 50.
Okay,
Alright. Players must exchange money for respect. For every $10 exchanged, receive 1 respect.
1 respect.
3 respect.
Wow, he just blew up that last turn. That was the power turn.
Give me 8. Yeah. This is not the way to try to make a power play.
5.
Oh, put his blade in his eyes.
Oh, at least second place! Yay!
Is there anything else? Right?
No, then it's compare. I think is what it said next. The players compare the respect totals. The player with the most respect wins. Unless their name is Andre, in which case it goes to William. Man, that's a good rule they put in there.
Superior power of grab top of that. Well, that's not gangster. Alright, so that was our first play of Nothing Personal. So guys, how do you feel about how this game played?
Cutthroat, right?
It's pretty cutthroat.
Yeah.
Not so cutthroat. You flip the table and dive for somebody like Cutthroat Caverns.
Yeah.
But pretty cutthroat.
I think it could get there though, because there's a lot of stuff that we didn't whack a single guy this entire game.
I tried, but it fell apart.
Yes.
I'm a bad assassin.
None of us even made power plays the whole game, or whatever it's called. Making a move.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a huge part of the game that none of us even attempted this time around.
Nah.
Just because it never seemed applicable at the moment for me whenever I thought about it.
Now that I think about it, I think part of it is because we were learning the card abilities and the fixed board abilities. But making the move is essentially like a counter spell. You make a move at the right time, not only are you possibly getting another spot, but you're stopping potentially someone from making
Their action.
So, yeah, next time, there will be some move making.
Well, for me, what it was is that it's always... Because don't you compare like your respect value and you roll with dice?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was always looking at it, because of the way the games worked out, it's a pyramid thing, and I was trying to make a move with somebody higher, you're always at a... Well, I mean, you get the bonus of the dice, but you're always at a deficit usually when you're trying to make a move. And so I was always trying to figure out a way to... At what time to try to do that, and just the very first turn, my very first play, my very first influence was trying to get a guy, and I was planning on making a move from the second guy to the first guy. It was my first thought. The very first action of the game. And by the time I got around to that, I'm like, I'd rather just cancel that other action over there and make sure that doesn't happen than make that move this turn. And so it kept me from doing it. So it was interesting in that way.
Well, I mean, the title is Nothing Personal. I don't think the gameplay really lived up to that.
I don't know.
Oh,
We were messing with each other.
Not really. I mean, not enough to make the title Nothing Personal.
Everybody was
I was
upset.
taking bribes to mess with people or break ties and stuff like that.
Not even subtly. Like bid war kind of bribes.
Yeah.
How much you want to give me? Yeah.
And there were cards in there. Seems like I was the only one that really got them. But a couple times I got to play cards where I got to move all the influence.
Those were brutal.
Those are really good cards.
So the one that I played that stole the influence and everything for a turn, that, if I hadn't been horrible at the game after that, would have made a huge difference for me.
That felt like a huge move, but then,
then I was not so good.
Once we got the flow, the turns, too, felt like they were moving along really well.
I think the thing is that it's not a complicated game, because when you're playing it, basically, you have a handful of cards. You see what's on the board. So usually you're going to have 2 or 3 cards. They tell you what you can put stuff on, so you're going to do that. Put a couple influence down. And then everything else kind of just activates and goes off, like all the influence and everything gaining, unless you have a couple interrupt cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming back, there's the couple power plays you can do the other way.
I think a big part of that, too, was for the first couple turns, we were trying to plan ahead. I know I was. I was trying to plan a turn ahead, and because of the way the game flow works, with the next person basically throwing influence that could totally change your plans, that's not as valuable. So you've got to kind of think on your seat and just play and just go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Every turn was like a little microcosm. Because it switched.
Yeah.
A lot.
Most rounds were big shifts. I think, between like 3rd and 4, not too much. Nobody got arrested. Nobody got whacked. So it was kind of the same. But after that, it just went nuts.
And I don't think we really explored the value of maybe seeding your influence in a wide range. Like, that didn't happen a lot.
Yeah, a lot of us focused, and then the problem is in this game, I don't know if you guys watched this or played it or not, when you reach a threshold of influence, because you're putting influence on tokens to try to get control of those characters, after the break, like you can, and they give you an ability, they give you money and everything, but then after all that, based on if there's enough influence on them, those people get arrested, and all that stuff clears off. So if you get any type of like influence war with somebody, it's like mutually assured destruction right away because you're like, I put 2, I put 3. Well, then I have to go up to 4. Now you beat me. Now if I try to beat you, that character's gone. And so and we almost never got 3 influence unless one time somebody put extra influence on was to try to bust them to get people arrested.
Mm-hmm.
It's always between 2 people, and the third person would just come in and elbow somebody and get him kicked out, which is interesting.
Well, I think a lot of us right off the bat were going for the top guys because they seem to be worth the more. So everybody just throws influence at those. You seem to seed low early, and that paid off really big for you. But nobody did that later.
No.
We all just continued to go for the top. So, yeah, actually paying attention to putting influence on the bottom guys, but not too low. That does seem like a good idea and a good strategy. And maybe in later games we might explore that more.
Any snags, any weird rules, any mechanics we weren't really thrilled with?
No, overall, I think it all flowed pretty well. I mean, we had trouble finding some stuff in the rulebook, but I think that's just first time playing, cold reading the rulebook. There was the whacking and the moving up have a dice roll. Mm-hmm. I know you can pay money to re-roll dice. I know you tried. There's one whack attempt in the game. Yeah. How many times did you re-roll? Like 5 times?
4 or 5 times, and I had to have someone else give me money just to do it, and I failed anyway.
And so, I mean, that's part of the humor of the game, but it can also, the fact that it'd be nice if there was a mechanic game where you could hedge it more and like pay $10 to add one to the roll. Or like, so, you know, like where you could do like, here's re-rolls if you want to do that, or a lot of games have that. You can do a re-roll for this much money, or you can just pay this much money to like add one to your result or something like that. I think that might have made it like, you know, if you could have just paid $30, I might have thrown $30 at you to kill that guy because it would have helped me type of a thing. And so that's something that was, I mean, it's not like staying in the game, it's the flavor of the game, but it's like something that would have been neat, especially in the one instance that we had.
Dylan, initially you weren't really happy with how long the game was going to last. Did that change?
No.
No? Didn't you feel like it was moving faster as we went on?
Well, yeah, that's because we got less stuff.
I think it was, well, for me, it was because I grasped the concepts and it just seemed to move.
Yeah, because at first it seems, because there's 5 phases of the turn, and at first, yeah, we're all really worried about, and you realize like, oh, it's not really as complicated as you think. You kind of, you know, this one you play your influence cards, and because you're going in a circle, you make it a card, you're making a play. One of the mechanics I really liked was the bid mechanic for the second round. So you play a card from your hand that says put influence on this other guy. After it goes around once, the first player then has to ante $1 or more, and everybody else has to pay that much to play cards again, and they can up it again. So if everyone has a bunch of cards and they're all being kind of friendly, people do just one buck and it goes around the table a bunch. But then one person throws like a 10 on there, and then everyone's like, oh, I get one more play maybe if I even want to spend the money.
Yeah. That's one of the best uses of money in the game, is to slow everybody else down, is to make people pay and to prevent people from playing influence cards. And that probably seems to be the most valuable component for money. But that being said, we didn't really pay a lot of money to whack people.
No, that's true. I went and tried to go big money in a way just for victory points in my mind, because at the end of the game, $10 is worth a victory point. I had a huge stack of cash, and I got like 8 victory points out of it. And I was down by so much, I was still last place. So going big money is not the way. It's all about the respect. The money is more of a, you know, if you have a few more bucks than someone else, it might help you, like in a tie situation. Mm-hmm. But the money really is just all about, stalling out that play round, because it really doesn't have a lot of use outside of that, of playing the actions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is another game with kind of 2 tiers of resources in it. Mm-hmm. You know, and I really like that. I think it gives a dynamic to games. You know, you've got money to get, and it helps you get the other resource, but it helps you influence the board play and everything else. I'm really starting to like games that have like sort of 2 levels of resource, or things that get you to win the game. Other thing is, I'm glad they made this so that being capital mattered. Like, not only is it extra respect and money you get to be capo or control the capo, but breaking the ties came up quite a bit.
Yes.
A lot. And you were talking about the ante or bid mechanic to decide if we're going to play more influence cards.
He's the first one to do that.
He's the first one to start that ball rolling. So if he wants to start out big and control how the rest of that round goes, he's in the lead seat.
It also puts him in a key position to influence the layout of the crime structure, to place people in positions.
Yes.
Which was really important several times.
Mm-hmm.
You place one guy in this spot, and then from there he gets to fill in his replacement, more or less.
Yeah.
So you could kind of chain that. If you're the capo and somebody gets arrested, you can fill in your boys into those positions most of the time.
Which you took advantage of twice, I think.
I did.
Oh, look, and you won the game. Interesting.
Pretty good. Pretty good. So were we all capo in that game?
No, I was never capo.
No, you capo?
I was caught.
Yeah.
Okay, so most of us.
Yeah, and I had the lowest victory point total.
Ah.
It's like maybe there's a little bit of a correlation there. And I think that's what's...
Maybe a little correlation.
I think that's what it shows is this is one of those games that's not complicated, but there's lots of different layers to it. And there's like you're saying, you can't plan too far ahead, but you have to plan ahead at the same time. And so it's interesting because you have to... I mean, I think that's the best types of games, right? The ones where you're like you're looking down the road and you're like, oh man, there's like 50 forks down there. I don't know which way we're going, but I have to kind of, what's the average? What's he probably going to do? And it has a lot of that where you're looking ahead and you're because the capo just like decides ties. There is a little bit of like kind of king making but in a really aggressive sort of way. It's not like, oh, I'm losing, I want to make that guy win. It's more of, there's a lot of, I'll give you $10 if you do this for this guy or something like that. I mean, at the one point I know I paid you money just to use another ability on someone else. It wasn't even like something I was afraid of him coming at me. I wanted to hurt a specific person. And so I think having that in the game is fun, and it adds to that little backstabby type moments that can make these games really fun.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about just the art, the component quality, and the theming of this game.
Theme. It's a mob theme. I don't know if anybody's aware of that. It's about gangsters. I don't know if you guys picked up on it. And it's all about it's not about like the going out and doing the crimes. It's about the internal political structure.
Yeah.
And so it really does feel like that. It feels like you're scheming. You're trying to get stuff to get your guys on top. At the same time, I'm not quite sure who we are supposed to be. Maybe we should have read a synopsis or something on that. I feel like because we're outside the family.
We're the crime families, right? You were the De La Rosas. I'm the Casher. I can't even pronounce that one. So I just kind of took that as we're the crime families having influence on particular actors in the whole thing. But
I mean, but yeah, so it really does feel like there's pyramid structure on the board, and you really do get that of like this guy's on top, they're making decisions, and the whole filling in and getting your replacements. There's all this nepotism that goes on in the game, and it does give you that feel of like there's that one time where he took Capo, and then like 4 people got arrested, and all of a sudden Andre had controlled everything in the upper echelons. And we're like, oh. One of us should have probably seen that and done something to stop it. So I think that really, it has that feeling, that flavor.
And after I don't know if it was the initial seeding that we did with influence in the beginning, or maybe after the first round, I'm not sure. But there was, right off the bat, okay, Dylan, it's you and me against these two.
Yeah, that lasted for like 2 rounds.
That lasted, and then it was gone, yeah. But that was really cool.
And at the end,
alliances.
and then there was like a round where I felt like it was you and me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started pulling ahead, and I hated all of you people.
Yeah.
And so,
very cool.
Art style. What do you think of the general art on the cards and the layout of the board?
Standard.
The card art,
Your comments on everything.
The character art is kind of caricatures for sure. Kind of looks like what's that movie? Incredibles. That's what the card art reminded me of.
Oh,
It kind of has that style.
yeah, sort of cartoony.
Cartoony, but not. Graphic design is fine. It's clean. Super clean.
I like that the colors line up with the job types.
Yes, there we
like
go.
that makes it really easy to find stuff. I was really concerned about that when I was first started looking at cards, and then as soon as it's mentioned, it's like, oh, it's all color coded. That's nice.
That makes it way easier.
Yeah, a lot easier.
And obviously there's some nods to Tom Vassell and some of the other people that he works with, the people who
there's
presented the
a
Dice
whole
Tower,
lot of in-jokes in the card art.
which is funny a little bit, but then again, if you're, it doesn't detract from it at all. But for the people who maybe don't know about it, you're just like, oh yeah,
Who's that?
it's just another funny gangster name. So that worked fine.
Yeah.
Layout, the arrows and everything on the board. At first, I was kind of like, why do they have these? It seems like they overcomplicated the look of it. And then you realize, like, well, actually, it does matter. It is what it do, and it does work. So I think that layout-wise, it's great. The score tracker, I'm pet peeving now. The score tracker was weird to me that there's like kind of two sections to it. There's for 40 and then, or 1 through 39 and then 40 through 79 on the board. And they didn't go all the way across, and that was just funny for me.
It's an open ledger,
Yeah.
so that's a theme thing they're going for.
I just thought that was like, because I always felt weird to me every time I saw it, because you were basically keeping track of scores for us. Every time you move it up and all my balls, I was like, and it goes, oh no, it goes back over there. And like I said, it's pet peeves, but
I hate score trackers that do that in general. But no, yeah. I was talking about the quality, because I think that's a big one to talk about.
the chits are amazing
Really nice.
quality. They're basically about 1.5 inches thick.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That it still has, so I mean, chits, great. There's nothing to complain about these chits at all. I mean, if you do complain about them, it'd be the fact that you don't like chits at all, and you're like, oh man, why couldn't this be real $100 bills?
Metal
man?
coins.
These rival Zaya. I don't know why you don't think that.
I think the Zion ones are cooler.
Zion ones
but
are a little nice.
These feel like a really heavy arcade token.
Well, the Zaya ones are silver and blue. They have gold ones in this one. That's awesome.
The ring was
The
cool.
ring.
Yeah, ring.
The ring.
And unlike most games that have probably this, the ring's big enough it fit on everybody's fingers. 'Cause let me tell you,
Yeah.
these things aren't the smallest fingers in the world. They fit on my hands.
Yeah, so if we didn't mention it, when you're a capo, you get the ring of respect, and that passes around. Very cool.
I had some initial thoughts about the cards. In fact, this one right here has a little tear on the corner.
Oh no!
They're fine quality, but I think after handling like we punched all the chits and I grabbed the cards, I was like, why are these cards so thin?
Yeah.
They're not that bad. They're not bad in any way, but for somehow they just felt. I think it's just by
Because
comparison.
these are so
Yeah,
thick.
because they just feel soft a little bit.
These are abnormally thick.
It has
Game
the
salute.
everything gets put in instead of having an insert, which just has a little bit of an insert, so it's not as big of a deal for it. But they use deck boxes again to hold everything,
Big honking boxes.
and so it's just
25 tokens
and then
and a meeple.
I don't know. Just a couple extra slots in there would have worked better for me. I feel.
Or baggies.
Bags are good.
Stop it.
What?
You said game solution. Stop it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So and again, this is a pet peeve thing. It works, but I mean, it's really easy to then you can throw them out, and I mean, it has a big icon on it. At least they're well marked.
Yeah, you know what family is. But it almost feels like you could have just had a clear bag. You'd be done.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So you get a wood meeple score tracker. So got to mention they worked a meeple mobster into the game.
Okay, I'll say something about that. Don't get me wrong, I don't care one way or the other with them, but it's extra. It's an extra something.
Yeah.
It's something you don't have to use. You can just use bags.
Yeah.
Bags are freely available and
Yeah.
easy to get your hands on. And if you like them, you can go with them. In the world of toy collecting, there are people that will complain when their toy has something extra, and I always go nuts at that. It's like, who cares?
No.
Throw it away if you don't want it. So I feel like I have to say that just to be fair.
Good point.
I hear what you're saying.
And I'm wrong.
I mean, you're completely right. And in this case, like I said, they have an insert. The thing that they usually do is instead of having inserts in their boxes, it's
so
a
you're
loose open
complaining
box.
the lack of
Yeah,
inserts, which
this
are
one,
better,
which
are absolutely
this one
better.
has insert with a slot, so you can actually put the decks in, and it will hold a little bit.
Then then that makes sense. I could back you up there.
But I got you saying that it's hard to complain when they give you boxes.
The dice are really nice.
Oh, the dice were cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's everything here's nitpicky, right? Like, I don't have any complaints about gameplay or mechanics or art or anything like that, other than, man, why couldn't they have real $100 bills in the game? Why couldn't they, why didn't they ship it in a cooler box? Oh, the box! You guys didn't really handle this at all.
It was heavy duty, huh?
This box is as thick as the chipboards. It is ridiculously thick.
It's wrapped. That's nice.
It's a great box.
Yeah.
So overall component quality, great. Not going to wear out.
Drop it off.
I can probably use this to like stack these on top of each other, like change a light bulb or something. It's going to be great.
All right, so we're all pretty happy with the component
I
quality.
think so.
It's
Yeah.
a thoroughly over-designed game.
All right, to the booth.
So, nothing personal. I think this is a pretty good game. I have a couple of issues with it, but I think Mr. Vassal, when he was thinking about making a game, he really thought about, okay, I can't go too far because it might be bad. If it was bad, that would kind of mess him up because he's a legend. But, yeah, he went with the simple route because this game is pretty simple, which I like. It can get a little longish, but maybe that's just because I played it first, so I'll let that go. But the art direction's fine. The component quality is great. The game flows pretty smoothly. Not a lot of, traps on the road. But, yeah, but I am going to give it a like it because I feel like the theme of this game, which is mafia, like old-timey gangsters, was not really captured by this game, really. Because really, I just felt like I was just moving tiles around. Didn't really capture my imagination, which kind of bummed me out. So it's a solid game. It's good for one of the first games that he has made himself. And Tom Vassal's a legend, so I'm going to give it a like it.
All right, so nothing personal. I'm going to give it a love it. For me, it's the perfect game if you want a game where everyone's going to fight with each other. It breeds conflict. It's all about pushing each other's buttons, trying to make short-term alliances, and backstabbing people. It fills a niche that a lot of other games I have don't fill, so for me, it's a love it.
So Nothing Personal was Tom Vassal's first game. He did it with another designer named Steve Avery, and he had a lot of goals, I think, going in. He wanted a fun, contentious game, and he wanted really good quality. Totally nailed it on the quality of the components. You're getting your money's worth times 10 in this product. The contention, I think, is there. The rules move along really well and feed the whole conflict between the players. The mob theme, as far as the politics and the hierarchy in these mob families, came through for me. The humor is there too, although if you aren't familiar with a lot of these game designers and game reviewers and game YouTube people, maybe that's going to be lost on you. But still a really quality game. A lot of fun. Going to call this a love it.
I really like this game. It's fun. It's something people can play together. It's just combative enough to keep it interesting. There's a lot of cool elements to it. It's not your it doesn't have any of your typical elements. The influence idea is very fun and very neat to play with. The structure of a mob family and controlling that is just fun as a concept. So that alone is already super cool. And it's beautifully constructed. It's built like a tank. So overall, I really enjoyed this game. There's no reason not to play it a few more times. Absolutely. Would I buy it? Probably not, but I could definitely give it a really solid like it, almost buy it level as far as the ranking goes. But it was a fantastic game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's got a lot of fun mechanics. And if you're down for trying something new, something different, but something thoroughly enjoyable, yeah.
Thanks for checking out this Blind Fight episode. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, click on me. And thank you very much to all these people for helping us out today.